the last 5 years, we've witnessed significant good growth in the debt capital market. For a market to be developed, we must have the balance side for the demand side and also on the supply side as well. Because I noticed that most of our talking has been focused more on the supply side without looking at the demand side, which is very, very critical. What is the stock exchange doing in terms of, building that demand side of the market?
In the last couple of years, the stock exchange has worked with other stakeholders in the market with respect to trying to see whether we can bring different types of products to the market. We also work not only from the regulatory perspective, but trying to figure out what it is that investors want. So our regulatory style and indeed our engagement style is extremely collaborative.
Is any member of the panelists who wants to jump in and make some comments around what should be done on the insurance side? Because for one to have a very robust demand side, insurance has to be very strong.
If you encourage more insurance investors to invest in corporate debt securities, then they're able to influence best practices within these corporate institutions. So the same way companies are required to be PENCOM compliant to access pension funds, you could also set minimum requirements to access insurance investments.
It's been interesting with all what the London Stock Exchange has been doing to promoting dual listing. Can you elaborate more in specific terms, what to the audience, what the LSE is further doing to ensure that we reverse this situation?
Obviously, the reason why it ends up being dual listed on our market is because these are sort of dollar-denominated debt, which the Nigeria needs. The sovereign basically needs to raise that money to develop the infrastructure.
Green bonds and sukuk and other products are becoming interesting capital raising option for businesses. Can you please shed more light on how Nigerian businesses can benefit from these products, innovations, and what are the requirements required for launching this product?
The first thing would be, a conducive environment. As it is in all debt capital markets, the government has to set benchmarks.
Mr. Gama, do you want to provide more insights on the SEC's work towards ensuring that we deepen our capital market, especially from the regulation and rules perspective?
We have continued to change, to review our laws, regulations, so that both the issuer and the investor are able to easily assess the market.
In terms of rating bonds or sponsors, what are the parameters you usually consider in assigning rating grades to your entities or the instruments you rate?
Some corporates are going to the short-term commercial paper market, debt capital market. So they're doing the issuer rating, which is sort of like an introduction to the rating process, putting that on the shelf and waiting for market conditions to improve. Maybe the interest rates come down and then they'll go to the longer debt capital market.
On the DMO side, the debt level for Nigeria is raising a lot of alarm to most people, especially when you look at the debt to revenue ratio, which is currently roughly about 60 to 65% of our total revenue. So are there any concerns from that angle? And one, and two, what is DMO doing in ensuring that international rating for Nigeria, which is currently a B by S&P, is upgraded?
And DMO does not borrow. Borrowing is based on approval of National Assembly, the law, the act. So let's put that in perspective. Now, if revenue is low because of oil price crash and our economy has been, now food hands are not deliver things to people because we don't want to borrow. But the problem is not really a debt problem, it's a revenue problem. It's about collecting our taxes. So if our taxes go up, then the issue of debt, because the debt and debt service, we are already owing debt. We can't wipe it off our books. All we can do is grow the revenue so that the ratios look better.
So I'd like to direct a question to the regulators, whether they actually share the same perspective that there is over-regulation of the market.
Primarily, the responsibility of the regulator is to protect the investor, protect the issuer, and protect the Nigerian economy. And that's our responsibility.
Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause to our honorable panelists for a the discourse conversation. Thank you very much.